In 2020, Altman, the CEO of the company that's unleashed AI and currently taken over your job, ran the largest experiment of its kind in American history. 3,000 people were handed $1,000 a month for 3 years, and the result might change everything you think you know about what's happening next once AI fully takes over. To understand why Sam Altman funded this research, you need to understand the problem that Silicon Valley wants to keep under wraps. AI is replacing white-collar work at a pace nobody predicted. For example, Oracle is cutting 30,000 jobs. That's 18% of its workforce. Cuts at UPS are exceeding 40,000, and Accenture cut around 11,000 jobs. These people were told, get a degree, get a good job, you'll be fine. And I personally never subscribed to that narrative, but here we are. But things get complicated because markets need customer. And if AI produces everything and people lose their income, who's left to actually buy anything? The economy doesn't collapse because we're producing too little. It collapses because we're producing too much, with no one left to sell to. Economists have been warning about this since the 1930s. It's a massive flaw, and the people building these AI systems know it, which is why, behind closed doors, they're already working on a solution. So let's look at what Altman actually found. And do not skip this part. Most people do. Starting in 2020, OpenResearch, which is a non-profit that's backed by Altman, it gave 3,000 low-income people in Texas and Illinois $1,000 a month with no condition or strings attached for 3 years. And here's what happened. Outcome 1, people didn't blow it. They spent most of it on necessities, so rent, food, transport, the essentials. Outcome 2, they work slightly less, about 1 hour and 20 minutes less per week on average. And this is where critics will say UBI makes people lazy, but the data suggests people didn't quit. They used that margin to rest, spend time with their children, and to reduce stress. Outcome 3 is an uncomfortable part. It didn't dramatically increase entrepreneurship nor education like UBI advocates hoped. People didn't suddenly start working on their hobbies or start a business. They mostly remained still. They got comfortable, and that is the honest finding. So the world's most powerful CEOs, the man behind the technology replacing these jobs, actually concluded that a 40% boost in income for low-income families would not produce utopia. It would not produce a disaster either. It would produce stability. So now there are two camps debating how to fix it, and we need to know which side is which. Option 1, universal basic income. Government tax the AI companies and redistribute the money as a monthly payment to citizens. You get a check. Simple. Altman's experiment was essentially a test run for this model, and this is not just theory anymore. Right now, as of March 2026, the first ever payment specifically for workers displaced by AI have begun. A program called the AI Dividend is sending $1,000 a month to people who lost work directly because of AI. It is small, just about 25 to 50 people right now, but it's real, it exists, and people running it say they're planning to pressure the major AI companies to fund it themselves. Option 2, we have universal basic ownership. Instead of one paycheck, you get equity, a stake in the AI companies doing the work. You don't just receive income from the system, you become a part owner of it. Elon Musk called his version universal high income. Sam Altman has called for what he described as universal extreme wealth, where AI creates so much abundance that everyone benefits from the upside. The difference is this: UBI makes you a recipient, UBO makes you a shareholder. One is a safety net, the other is a seat at the table. And that distinction matters enormously for what comes next. Now, in the UK, this conversation is barely happening at government level. While the US is running studies and funding pilots, Westminster is still debating digital transformation strategies and productivity frameworks. Meanwhile, a study by the Resolution Foundation estimates over 11 million UK jobs face significant automation exposure in the next decade. That's 11 million. And the reason we should address this uncomfortable question is that these tech companies have more lobbying power than most governments and will advocate for UBI because it is funded by taxpayers. It will cost them less than actual corporate regulation or an equity redistribution model. So where does this leave us? Sam Altman ran the experiment. The results were real and far from perfect. The AI dividend is sending out its first payment right now, and the debate between UBI and UPO is no longer academic. The system that's existed for centuries for the majority of people, where income comes from honest, hard labor, is being rewritten. The only question is, where will ordinary people end up? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one.